Happy Tuesday. Yeah, it smells of camel.
I think so. Oh, there's this. Kind of thing. Sometimes you have to.
It was a by school.
Oh, yeah.
Cheese. Such the old. You just gonna have to fight it. People, multi-purpose buses again. Zenith. We can do both corners. Yeah. I didn't do that shit. Exposed to fires. Looks like. It wasn't super close to the shipwreck secret.
We're on the way home. Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
I was working Saturday about. Yeah. One of the little towns that are fish and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that was. I was like, wow, hey, we're a lot better than that here.
Right?
They had it down about Milligan and.
Yeah, we gotta hold that radio thing.
Oh.
And it just.
He works for UPS. He's crazy.
Hmm.
Got a phone call.
I'll be here for a while. You could throw- Would you?
So this, the Granger check that went to the phosphate motor,
Yeah.
was that avoided?
Yes,
So it doesn't show the void on here though, should it show the void on here?
it won't show it on here, it shows it in the system. And it was voided.
So then, do we have a correct invoice, the 145.15?
It should be right there. The, claim. Quentin brought it back with him. He said we had an account with them, but they weren't even in the system, so I don't know how they thought we had an account with them. I had to enter all their information.
So then, do we need to sign, do we need to sign this one?
Does that have the
This is the.
right amount on it? Did I say what's something else?
I was told it was 120.
It was one, was everything,
It was 145.15, it says. The estimated total is right, but
that,
that's not right.
yes, and I didn't stable it with it. I probably stabled it with something else. I'll find it. Cause he did bring it in to me. Cool, there's nobody else that has one.
You would.
Yeah,
So why don't you use this email?
I do.
That's not the email that we emailed.
No, I use both. I actually have three.
So why don't we just start, like, why don't we get rid of the other ones and just use one?
Right, that's my plan, I just have not
So then
had the
we
time.
don't get confused because of like all this.
No, this came from him. To
Right,
this email.
right, that's what I'm saying, this isn't the email that we use.
Yeah, that's the one he knows. He knows all of them. He sent it to this one. I check it all of them every single day. Multiple times. He brought me that receipt though.
You should be able to set up a forward and have it all forwarded at time.
I just haven't had time. What?
Did they work on a fire run?
Hmm?
I said they were out on a fire run.
No, it's a company.
Oh, Ranger. Okay.
Jeanette, I will go through all of these and find that receipt because he did bring it to me. And then I'll send you an email copy of it.
So this one is really, don't need to be signed.
Yeah, that's a boy.
Same person. It seems so insane. Excuse me. You're giving me back with me. No. No. Really?
We him, Mike, will scan him.
Taking photos and- Well, you gotta show you, I think that's.
Do you have Quentin's claim, Jeanette?
For what?
Do you have a claim for Quentin?
No,
That's primarily receipts.
oh, yeah. This is two different.
There's the receipt.
This is Menards.
And then the next one, Ranger.
So what was bought up Menards? Padlocks?
Yeah.
For what?
Every lock in town, they had a padlock,
But why did you change them?
because former council members had copies of it and they were letting anybody and everybody in the back to dump. They would also have access to lift stations. Everything, it was a universal key.
Well, shouldn't that be, coming out of something, Menards coming out of something besides water, because that's not just the water, that's nothing but really.
Well, it is because you got lift stations, you've got the. I forget where all he put them, I'd have to ask him when he gets here, where all he put them,
It's probably like a 5-pack or something.
you know.
It is, it's a 4-pack. So on this one for Veracor, what is that for?
Yeah.
Oh, that's our meters, our, it's for our software, to read our meters.
This for, I don't think, so.
Says it, no, it's the lift station. If the lift stations fail, they send out a text. And which causes water operators or whoever can get there fastest. To go down and check and see what it could be, because the power went out, levels are high, could be a million things.
So what's the invoice for though? I mean, like what? There's 3 invoices here.
Lift station. Should be on the right hand side.
Oh, it says lift station and lift station 1 and lift station probably 2. But what's the invoice for though, for that communication?
Yes.
And it's $910 a year? You have money in the water to pay this?
Yeah.
Keep it in. I know. Wonder where that comes
And the sinking.
from. Oh,
Yeah, because we use that,
So what's this Google?
That's how we do our job. It's been, we've had that workspace for years, a lot of years.
we should be. Some, some.
sure.
Yes. You can use the city. Too.
No, this should be nice.
Seven. Do you mind handing me,
What's that?
Jeanette, would you mind handing me Jeanette?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So where's the Visa bill show? Like, there's no Visa bill on here.
No, nobody's spending money.
But we have monthly stuff that comes out of there every month.
Well, they couldn't do that.
There is stuff that comes out off of that every month,
They put a freeze on the card until the payment went through.
but the payments went through.
This now, they'll be on the next billing cycle.
Cause there's automatic payments that come out off that card.
Yeah, I do know that.
So every bill that I looked at has delinquencies.
Why did the Comcast bill in the fire department go up?
I don't know, I don't know what their program here or things they're on. Yeah, that would be a, Brandon question section.
Because, I mean, literally, it's like double,
Double.
not what it usually is. Bill was $415. The Comcast cable, about one down, put one down. Fire the utility.
Thank you. I don't think I got that.
Brandon.
What's up with your cable down there at the fire department? The cable, the bill's like $416.
We have the bill, is it?
I don't ask. Something like that.
Probably.
I'll tell you right now, at Xfinity, if you take, close an account,
Oh,
reopen it, it just goes back up to about $700.
It looks fine.
No reason.
There's no change. It's the same thing.
So it's not, you don't want to change it.
But it's still 105,000 gallons a day. It's still, nothing's changed. You still have to provide notice of any. So there's no material change as far as I think.
That,
I wouldn't hesitate to approve it. It's not like you got a lot of choices.
right here.
Not a lot of towns around ready to take 105,000 gallons.
This one.
Hopefully, it's not gonna be your crawl space that takes 105,000 gallons.
Day off. I took the day off. It'll drive around the world day.
Right around the world,
Felt like it.
and it's sometimes it does go off.
Now I drove from here, South Bend, to Vandalia, Ohio, then Ohio back here. That is, I drive too much.
Used to drive for a living, so I feel you.
Is. If you don't pass, you're gonna get back, you're gonna get slashed your budget allocation. And if you're short, we. They'll move you forward one way or another. It's the question before I give you. We're already past the statutory, I guess they've got some. I think. Start, we're not on the record, right? Yeah. Like I said, I understand that you wanna make sure that we're.
We're gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, which stands under God,
So should I handle the meeting since Phil's not here?
Yeah, sure, I mean, that's fine, that's why. I drafted about 3 different emails to you, and basically the bottom line is, we don't really have there's not an ordinance that says what the duties of the vice president is. If they're not to handle things when the president's not here, then why even have one, so.
And he's not here, so who's gonna handle
It's gonna be you, yeah, I'd say somebody's gotta handle it, the business of the town needs to go on. So that, I think. What is necessary is legal, or it's the legal principle that applies.
it? Okay, so the first person on the agenda is, we need to approve the claims from what we just went over from March 11th to April 14th, 2026. Anybody have any questions? Anybody make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we're going to the approval of the minutes from our last meeting, which was March the 10th, 2026. And Amy, I know you said, I can't remember what you said about the Bowman and Falls.
They mark it as expired. It's for their records. But it's not expired, is how they explained it to me.
So we have insurance on all of our vehicles.
Yeah. Everything.
And it's as of when.
The meeting was the 10th, so I called them the 11th.
Does that include the Durango now?
That was just added. I don't know the date.
After accident or before accident?
Oh, Matt took care of that, so he would have to answer that. He took care of adding it to the insurance.
After?
Was it after?
Now, is that vehicle in the, town of Milton name yet?
No, Matt just printed the, stuff off. I sent an email to Jeff Plaster this afternoon and Aaron, Commissioner Aaron Welker.
Yeah, Robinson.
He called me this afternoon, and they're both aware that we have not received the titles for,
Two sheriffs.
yeah. They're going to, Jeff's message said he will work on it first thing in the morning to get those to us.
So really, should we be even driving those vehicles?
Yeah, then I think it's that piece of it. It's gonna be a long road to travel.
Right, but we did attempt to get it.
The insurance are insured, that's the biggest piece of it, that's the issue that needs to be. And we need insurance companies, I don't know if you gotta talk to them or what, but we need cars, they can go with cars, yeah.
Yeah, so per my contact with the fire department, cause they contacted to see what insurance would be for the,
That's your
yeah, and then the
service.
Charger, yeah, compared to the others. And then, but at that time, we did not have insurance on any of our vehicles.
That's not true. That's not true.
Well, that's who, they spoke with the office assistant.
Well, I know that not to be true. If you look back a few months ago, I paid like, I'm gonna guess, $13,000 to them. We pay it by the half.
There's vehicles that was listed, but it wasn't the correct vehicles.
Like what was missing? The Durango, that's it?
There was,
Black Tahoe wasn't on there when I talked to them. They added the Black Tahoe and the Durango when I talked to them.
and then there was an old vehicle that was still on there that was still being paid.
That's why I asked everybody for their inventory.
The Crown,
For this.
so the Crown Vic was still on there, but we had that Crown Vic in a couple of years.
So we probably need to review the actual policy when they mail it and to see what it all had on there.
What did you say about the fire department SUV? Is it, do we get insured?
It's not insured through the town, it's through the township. I'm not sure about the charter yet. Is that just?
Charter stayed on for March. The charter is whoever has ownership of the panel needs to be insured.
Right,
It doesn't matter like what department owns it, as long as it's within the town, it was already on the town's insurance, so it's good.
okay, so, who, make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. So,
All in favor?
oh yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mark, Is it Wandering?
Wandering.
Wandering, you're up.
Pretty simple. What I'm proposing is movement to amend, section 91.05 for the city ordinances. It's concerning the keeping of, specifically for fowl. I've had a lot of look in what's available and what's being done in the rest of the state. And, I think part of the issue, I wasn't doing it happen, probably was a lot of loud birds, roosters, stuff like that. And, what I was gonna recommend is that we allow up to 20 birds, no roosters. They must be contained and they must be licensed, and we do that through a banding policy. The city, you come in, you pay $1 per bird, and you get a plastic band that goes on the bird at the age of 4 months old. And that would account for that animal, and that would transfer if you lost that bird or culled it and replaced another one, you'd have it for up to a period of 3 years. The birds would have to be maintained and housed, they have to have a proper housing for up to 10 square feet of run per, that's also enclosed. And I would also recommend an additional ability for happy hour, they call it for bird owners, where you let them out, let them run around and scratch a little bit, but you have to supervise them to do this. And this is pretty much in line with what a lot of other cities and towns have around Indiana. And it allows for your eggs and stuff like that, and I don't think it would be much of a nuisance without roosters. Also, I'd like to include the possibility of pheasants, ducks, and possibly geese, but maybe not. Geese can be risky. That's what I'm recommending. We could have a lower number. 20, I thought was a very low number, but 10 would also be okay. I've had chickens a lot of time, me and my wife Joy, everywhere we've been, so. And then we'd be happy to provide the bands to the town for licensing purpose, and we'd even maintain the database if you wanted us to. So they'd be under the rule of nuisance, what nuisance animals, so if their birds get out and they're running around, our deputy can have them for dinner, you know. Or we have a town barbecue. That's the essence of my proposal.
What was that, the number, the call number or the ordinance number?
91.05. They're mentioned elsewhere, but that's the one that bans them basically specifically. And it falls into the category of shall not have, and it mentions specifically, the wording of it, if I can find it here. So we unlawful any person keep, cause, or permit to be kept, or to continue to confine one or more horses, mules, swine, goats, sheep, and or livestock, including fowl, within the corporate city limits.
So that's been changed though, right?
We never did.
I don't think that's changed.
We made an exception back when Ashley,
Picture.
picture
It
procedure.
amended
But it was a
before.
one-off exemption. We talked about the 4-H.
Yeah.
Then we talked about things, and nothing's ever codified permanently. So that would be something you all would have to actually amend the ordinance and make a permanent outstanding amendment if you all want to do that. That's a process, as Chris has explained before, so that's not something that can be resolved tonight. That's a process that would have to take.
So you're, was like 20 birds, so you're wanting to basically start a business?
No,
No.
it's just for eggs.
For-
Yep. Generally with eggs, you get about an egg for every bird every other day. So there'd be like 5 eggs a day, generally, maybe as many as 10, it depends. During the winter, you don't get a lot of eggs, but
Okay.
that's why I said 10 would also be okay. I've just always had birds really miss it, and I think it's a fun hobby to have. And if you do it right, you're not gonna know anybody in the process.
And somebody in town already has that. Because we hear that.
Tattling's not gonna help your cause.
No.
You were doing great.
The bands are, yeah, shut up. The bands are about 400 bands for like $25. And little plastic things, and when the bird turns like 4 months old, it's basically an adult, and you just zip tie it on its leg. And that little band, the number will be recorded with the town.
Yeah.
So if they find a bird, numbers on it, hey, that's your bird, why is it out?
Black Bandit's number 25, it belongs to Jeff Schmo.
What about odor?
The what?
Odor?
That would be part of it. I made a bunch of notes, that's part of it too, that you're responsible for maintaining that it doesn't become a onerous odor. And what we did, we just maintained it with you use cedar bark, or you use wood chips.
Fine.
Yeah, pine, bunch of them, you just rotate it out. It's kind of part of the basic responsibility.
Hmm.
I mean, no different than you had a dog in a run, you know, if you leave a dog in there long enough, you're gonna smell that from 2 blocks away as well.
Composts really well.
It's great for gardens.
Would you like set up a presentation where we all get some information on this?
I can do something like that. Let me have some for you for next time.
Mhm.
Okay.
We can-
So you're open to the idea then?
I'm open up to any idea.
Okay.
Because right now on Izor, everybody's saying they're smelling chickens.
Well, yeah, because somebody has sprayed chicken.
Oh. It
Oh, yeah.
wasn't just on
Yeah,
Isle.
yeah, that's my house too, yeah.
Would you like me to produce like a sample ordinance and then provide some like, information like?
Yeah, all the information you can, all the information you come up with, to give us an idea of what we can
Okay.
work with and do with. Like, if you can get a copy of the other towns that have their
I
ordinance.
do, I'll take a look at some of the other ordinances.
Just,
The only small town I could find in Indiana that's not allowed is Hope, Indiana. They've been fighting it for years apparently, and Fort Wayne, for whatever reason. Indianapolis, you can have up to 8 birds.
Your backyard.
You don't even have a confinement rule, actually. They just have to, they're not supposed to get out, so you can have them running loose in your backyard. I think it's better if you have a run and let them out once a day to, like I said, it's called happy hour. You let your birds out, they go scratch around your yard, and they get used to this, come right back in.
yeah, if you get all that information together, I'll be happy to look at it.
Yes, sir.
Dennis, do you mind if I just,
Nope.
so just so you know, the process then is basically if you submit your proposed legislation, essentially ordinance, then there will be a kind of a standard process that goes through, once it gets to the wording that they want, there'll be it'll be put on the agenda, there'll be a first reading, there'll be an opportunity for people to comment on it, there'll be a second reading the next month, and then they'll have the opportunity to vote on it. So it takes a few weeks to get this sort of thing done.
I have no issue with that. I'm patient.
Yeah,
I appreciate the council being open to it.
yeah, it's not gonna happen overnight, but
I know there was some bad experiences, they can really sour people on the idea. You said they can sneak, and the next thing you know, you got chickens digging up your garden bed. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next is Quentin.
Yeah. The only real thing, as far as going on around town, everything's been going pretty decent with the crossovers with the new water main replacements. We did run into that issue, yesterday and then last week with Bull's Claw.
gas leak.
Well, not the gas leak. The mapping's wrong with the shut-off valves. So we thought Izor was still running when we isolated the mains down South Street and we accidentally shut them off. They did put a new shut off in for Izor by themselves. Other than that, yeah, the gas main was hit. I still don't know whether they marked it wrong or what it was, but it just happened again, the same spot.
Here's the digging.
Like, yeah.
It's on down. It's on
They put
real.
a locate in for that spot either the morning of or the morning before.
It was marked, you said, right?
Yeah, there was lines. We just don't know if they're correct or not.
Quentin, in regards to that, did the gentleman on Holt's Claw get taken care
What was it, Smith?
Larry.
of?
Yeah, Larry Smith. Yeah, I talked to Victoria after I got it all running for him.
Because I responded to their message, make sure they never responded, so I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, we got them all taken care of. Like I said, it was just a switch up on our shut off valves. Once I figured out the valve, that turned back on, we got taken care of. The only other thing is I do have my list. I need a few things this month. One, we do have to buy some weed killer, and I would also like to get some weed and feed for the parks. As of right now, those dandelions are crazy. If I can get them both the same spot, I did get some last year, used on that park, just on the front end. It looked pretty good the rest of the year. Those are both going to be concentrate, get them from go up. Let's see, we do need to repair the skid steer. That hydraulic leak underneath it is starting to get bigger. It's got a big metal skid plate underneath it. Without a lift, we can't get to it. We're gonna have to send it off to one of the shops around. I don't know if AT&I would deal with those or not. They usually deal with the construction equipment, the smaller. And then the backhoe also needs its oil filter. I think we missed it last year, so it really needs taken care of this year. Other than that, we do also have 2 more light bulbs out. They went out right after you guys told me only buy 2 last month. So again, I'm asking to buy 2 more plus 2 extra.
Good, I'll take that. So this one, now, if it's do that, it's just gonna go on right down the road.
These are on the south side of town. So we need a weed killer. I need to send the skid steer in the shop, and we need to buy an oil filter. As of right now, that's all we can think of.
So like, how much are we talking?
I don't know about the skid steer itself, labor and everything, whatever they charge, I'd have to deal with them. Eddie knows more about AT and he deals with them a lot. He probably actually has a really sweet deal because he's just Teddy. But I can look into that before we do make any decision. I'll get a price for it. I just want to let you guys know it does need sent to the shop.
An oil filter, that's what?
30-40 bucks probably
Right, skid steer or for the,
for the backup.
for back out, really, something more than that.
Just for the perk. It is.
Yeah,
just
just for
Rotella.
I thought it'd be more than that.
No,
Just for
well,
filter.
it could be, it is Rotella, it is a diesel, so it's gonna be at least,
Couple hundred,
I'm gonna guess. 10 quarts.
so you're at a couple $100 in oil.
Plus about $10 for an oil filter. I got the Walmart oil filters for really cheap. So,
What was wrong with the generator? They say,
all of the generator wasn't messing up. Turpin came and fixed this backup pump for the smaller lift station.
mhm.
They put on us. We blew a fuse on it, so he had to order a fuse, get it replaced. It's back online now.
Somewhere it said, where did it say?
Uh,
Oh, on those, okay, on it.
is that like a popular fuse? Is that the only one like it down there, or is that?
I've got a different fuse for every panel on this.
Imagine that.
That's the thing. Me and Doug just replaced a fuse down at the well. 4 or 5 months ago, it was completely different. Just whatever they use. with
That might be one of the things you might want to get extra one of those.
I think Turpin got himself an extra.
Okay.
Just in case.
So you need to make a motion to, for Quentin to be able to purchase weed killer, weed feed and 4 light bulbs. And oil and filter for the backhoe
And I'll get you a quote for the skid steer.
and a quote for this, because it's good.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
If that, on that, skid steer, if you think it seems kind of outrageous, you might go search around somebody else.
It's what we think is just another hydraulic line.
Probably what it is. Probably sit down there, got sitting in dirt and stuff, rub a hole in it or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, and also we're gonna need to replace our hydraulic fluid. I wanna get 2 5-gallon buckets. Because we've had to fix so many leaks on both the backhoe and the skid steer.
Where you get your hydraulic fluid at?
AutoZone.
So we made a motion and a first to approve it, and we'll add the, hydraulic, yeah, thank you. Sorry. And then if you can get us some quotes on the repair of the skid steer hydraulic leak. Before we make approval, and we can always email that out if we need to. All in favor? Okay, next one is Tom. The police department, Matt, the police department.
Apologize if you needed that to you guys.
Or the meeting. Or fans. Stop right like that.
Don't have a whole lot, you can see, stats are kind of the same, everything's been going good, we got some good arrests recently, the only thing we really have is we've got at least two, possibly three vehicles that are. I know one of them's at least 2,000 miles over on an oil change, and the other one's over as well. I don't know exactly how much. They need oil changes. We run them every day. It's not good on the run them when they're not, or running past when they're supposed to be having oil changes done. If you guys approve it, how do you want us to go about getting them done? Because as of today, yesterday, the credit cards that we have still isn't working.
Take that out of pay.
And I told Tom that I had to call Visa tomorrow
I think cash.
because when they unlocked my card, they should have unlocked them all. The lady that I talked to a week ago about these Visa cards told me if they didn't unlock them all to call her as soon as we realized they weren't unlocked. So he told me this afternoon and I will call her first thing tomorrow.
That way you want us to do it. Cards.
What's that? Cards, as far as I know, we normally go to Wiley's in Connersville just because it's quick and easy. And relatively at the time, the last we checked, that was the best place, cheapest wise.
Usually Wiley's are out of place in town.
I don't, as far as I know, they don't do accounts. I've never asked, but as far as I know, they don't. So I don't know, you just let us know how you want us to handle it. If you want us to try to do the card once it gets fixed, that's fine. If not, then.
I would try the card, but I'd try it before they change the oil in it.
Yeah, make sure it's working beforehand.
That's how we found out it was still on.
So other than that, unless you guys have any questions for us, that's all I've got.
Oh, the license plate for the Charger, what's that on?
It's currently on that white top.
All right.
So once
Once you get that,
we get that, it'll go to the fire department's truck.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know, we talked to all three of us at this point, have all talked
Yeah,
and
they got my trash truck.
that's the nice thing with those municipality plates is they're for the town.
Yeah, I know.
They're actually not. They're actually designed for a specific vehicle, like the one that's on the Charger right now is for the old trash truck. And the one, I'm not sure what that
Well, when I've
was.
ran municipality plates before through the system, they just come back as registered to the town, not a vehicle. So. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just saying that that's how it's come back from me before, so that's all I know.
Well, random. Random back.
Yeah,
That's.
when we first started is when that all went down, because we had to put municipality plates on the Charger.
And then Matt and I have been working on getting the titles. Like I said earlier, you get plates that actually go to the vehicles. I found the titles today. Help me make sure I have the right titles for everything.
If not, you can always apply for a duplicate. And that's maybe what the county needs to do is apply for. a duplicate.
Yeah, if the county can't produce the title to us, which I don't know why they couldn't. If
They have
sure-
45 days and it's been longer than 45 days.
No, wait, it's been 45 days.
Right.
And-
So they can apply for, they can apply for a duplicate. It might go back to if,
It'll go to them.
right, or who owned it before then. If they didn't,
They bought it.
They bought it.
Yeah, it'll all
Oh.
go to them. We just need to get the titles from them and get all that straightened out.
Well, hopefully Jeff or Aaron can put fire, get it coming.
so when do we think the visa might be?
I said tomorrow, first thing in the morning, I'm gonna call them, and that's exactly what I told Tom this afternoon.
Okay, so by the end of the week, if it's not fixed, then how do we want to? For them to. Or,
So if you can get if you can get like an exact price, just have a retro check. If
At least
it-
it'll do it where we can make them check.
Mhm. Like I said, a lot of places won't, but.
Right.
Gotta be exact. They won't be doing it. Check.
Yeah.
Listen, no.
Figure it out tomorrow. I got something.
It's not. Prices.
Yeah.
When they get done with the old thing, get a call, they have to run. I'm sorry, we'll be back. It's fine.
so that's for, you said for 3 vehicles?
I would say for 2 right now. I know that I would have to go back and look at the computer system to tell me how many miles and the last changes, but I know there's at least 2 that are in red right now.
And which ones are those?
Like Tahoe and mine, I think.
Yeah, it's not up to 2 Tahoes.
So we make a motion to approve 2 oil changes for both of the Tahoes. Once the credit card is fixed. Or who makes the motion?
Does include filters for those, right?
When they changed.
Yeah.
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 I'll make the motion.
I'll take it.
Anything else?
All we have. Unless you guys think or you compete.
I have a question for clarification. Will the oil changes be allowed to happen by check? Will Amy be able to pay by check if need be?
If
Or
they,
is it strictly to be?
I don't think they accept checks.
some places will, some places won't. We just,
I don't know.
Most of the one I'll ask for,
yeah.
oil changes. It's just- Normal maintenance, we usually do it normally, but right now, these are exceptional times.
But I don't think they'll accept checks, do they?
Most places, well, but if I have to, I'll just make special arrangements. I'll go to one of our local vendors and say, we accept a check,
Yeah, just,
but I don't know why we wouldn't be able to get. I think what happened is I think a block maybe was put on our cards for some reason. And
They told me that on the phone.
But
That
I
if
think
they don't-
your
if
question
they-
is, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you, but I think your question is, if we can't get the credit cards fixed and they come to you and say, we need a check, is the council giving you the authority to write the check so they can get it
Yeah.
done? 'Cause
Yeah.
the way, I just wanna make sure, because I think the way you said it is, you have to do it on the card,
Yeah.
but you don't really
Yeah.
care how it's paid, is that correct?
No, but I don't think a lot of places will take a check.
I agree, but does he have the authority to write a check if they will? Yeah. I think is your question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just making sure.
Okay. And then
You need to vote.
I think we did.
You didn't.
All in favor? Aye.
Right.
get ahead of yourself.
You just took a second, take a motion, let's do it.
Okay, so we have Brandon, Fire Department.
I really don't have a whole lot. Do you guys want to print a report every month for your records? Do you guys keep those like they do?
I do.
I'll start doing that next month.
And can you please come up to the front, because people that's watching can't see you.
Let's get one.
Oh,
Right around the column.
no, they can see. There's lots of cameras.
Right in the back.
Hey, there you
We gotta turn around to the camera.
No, they-
Now it's your back.
Oh, there. Well, I don't know.
Camera's right there.
Oh, okay.
Want to kneel down, please, right on the camera?
We're up to 57 calls for service between fire and EMS runs. We did pick up a new SUV that the township provided, for the K9/command vehicle that we're going to use. Did get the charger all wired up and it's kind of roadworthy now for our means. SUV, the radio is going in this week, I hope, and a couple other different little minor things, and that should be put in service probably within a week or two. It's gonna be called Squad 3, just because the lettering was already there, it's cheaper. Charger is gonna be Command 1, what we decided to call that. We're still kind of at a standstill with our remodeling in the back, we're struggling, because I think the card issues, we couldn't get the Chad couldn't go and buy the stuff that he needs for Lowe's, I think the last time he tried. I think he could probably come get a check if he needed to,
Yeah.
but would you rather wait or,
Yeah, but
We did that before with Menard,
yeah,
because he can give me the exact total, because we're tax exempt.
right, but if they're purchasing it, they're using their own funds to begin with.
yeah, and I hate to ask him to do that unless you can reimburse him directly and be okay with a check being written to him, knowing that's going to that if you have proof. I don't know how you guys want to handle it, or he just won't wait for the cards, but we're trying to get that, however you guys want to do, we just need to get it done, 'cause it's,
Chad can get me the exact price. This is what he did the last.
I want to just have the check written down.
And then he has to tell me, I'm getting ready to go pick this up, and he asked for a check. And he went on and it was
Okay.
fine.
So
So
is-
except that, Randy had gotten a, tax exempt barcode, I think is what it was that you gave to me.
What?
At
Yeah.
Menards.
From Menard.
So he takes, he's got a copy of it.
Right, but they're tax exempt for the fire department too, right?
Where association is, yeah, we could use that too, we had to, but you have to sign up for Lowe's and all that, but I don't know what account he uses, he may be using the business account, I don't know. I have to check, but I mean, whatever works, just so we can get it done that way.
So,
I think he's ready to work.
so then what's wrong with their card?
Probably the same thing. Probably the exact same
Yeah,
thing.
we actually haven't tried it for a while because we gave up on it, so it's been a little bit, I mean, we haven't been able to use it, so. But I don't think ours has
What
nearly.
happened, let me clarify this.
Mm.
What happened with the visa? I made the payment online like I always do. It took them 15 days when it's supposed to take 5 to 7 days for them to clear the payment. It took 15 days for them to clear the payment. Then it was past, in their eyes, it was past due. I showed them where everything was legit and the payment was paid. Then I had to fight that, or not really fight, the lady was really nice. I said, we need the cards turned back on. She said, we're gonna start with yours. Check it. And then Tom just checked his today. It was blocked. So I just have to call them back and tell them to unlock the cards because they're blocked. Quentin, have you used yours?
Not since the last time I did.
I think ours only had
a week,
$500
one
on
half ago.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
So it'd be easier just if they just, the insurance money, give it to you guys and you put your association account with you guys and get it when you need it.
Probably, whatever you guys wanna do, I mean, it's,
I have their insurance fund.
I was thinking,
That's why they were just, because they're general, yes, it comes out of their fund, but it's a general check. That's exactly what I handed to Chad. Last time what were they, the ceiling tiles?
yeah, I just didn't know if it'd be easier if they put it in their association account, then they could use their association
I never
card.
give him my
Oh,
card. and-
I see what-
Yeah, and it'd be,
Yeah, I can
Less
give him a
hassle.
card and he can buy whenever he wants,
Yeah.
or pick it up whatever he does.
and then you'll have the receipt and everything for it through
Yeah,
that.
vote on that, or can I request
Wouldn't it be
that?
better for transparency's sake, like to run through here?
What's that?
Wouldn't it be better for transparency's sake, just to run it through as you've been doing it?
I mean,
I'm just curious.
yeah, I mean, if it's like I said, it's transparency, I mean, they would have the account, I mean, they'd still turn the receipt in when you.
No. The
So the
association,
association Brad has to keep the receipt.
yeah, the association,
We keep records.
yeah.
We're only talking about insurance funds, right, not appropriated. funds.
No, it's just the money they got from the
Yeah,
insurance.
well, I mean, I understand your concern, but I'm just thinking from a state perspective, we don't have to worry about that, but yeah, from a citizen's perspective, I get where you're saying, wait a minute, we'll make sure that it's going where it's.
Whatever's little.
But they're at a standstill now because
They're not. I've told them for 2 months. I even told Matt and I even told right here in council. Yes, start. Please start. And that now it keeps getting brought up and it keeps getting brought up. Matt's asked me it multiple times and I've told him the exact same thing. And I told Brandon the exact same thing. Start, but would you just finish one thing and then move to the next? They need to do the windows. Do the windows. If you need to do the floor, do the floor. That's all I asked of them.
But sometimes when you do windows, you just can't do windows because windows could take 3 to 4 months
Well, if
for
you,
them to come in. There's different things.
I understand that, but if you order windows, however many they're gonna put back in there, if they're gonna put the same ones in there. They're gonna order windows, then they know how many windows they're gonna have. There you go. I mean, I've done enough construction in my life. This should have been done.
Is Chad okay with getting checked out? Is it, cause I.
Yeah, he did.
I'll double check with him and see, cause I kinda felt like he was wanting to use the card, but
It just keeps getting brought up month after, for at least last 2
Well, I
months.
think a lot of it is because our Visa cards aren't working on any of the departments.
Chad knows that because we've done it. Chad knows that because in the first project, they maxed out my card because they couldn't get the funding on their card because theirs is blocked on a limit of 500. And I said, give me the proper amount and I will write you a check and send it over there with you. That's exactly what he did and had no problems. So I don't know where the
We'll just have.
confusion is.
Yeah,
in any of that, but this is 2 months in a row that this has been brought up and I've already said,
Sure, Chad knows that, yeah. Get a check or whatever that he needs.
Do they know how much is in that account? I mean, of their insurance money, they have funds.
Gave it to me a couple of months ago.
Yep.
Other than that, we were pretty successful in some grant money that we got from Duke. Haven't got it yet from Duke and Sugar Creek. Got like 10,000 from Duke and 2,000 from Sugar Creek. Haven't got it, but we've been awarded it. So it's gonna be for equipment and things that need replaced, things like that. We're using. That's what the grants are for. But
And how much was from,
Duke was 10,000
mhm,
and then Sugar Creek was 2,000.
2,000?
Then we tried to get a grant from DOT and as a regular grant, we never heard back. And I just did a little small one for the dog, and next thing you know, they did it 10 times more than what we asked for. So here you go. So.
At Dot Foods?
Yeah.
What was that?
$5,000. That was.
Oh,
for the
that's
K-
the picture I saw.
For the for the K9, and so that's gonna go pretty much through the training and other vet care and thing. Well, not vet care, but other thing that he needs throughout the years. So
When those grants come in, those all go into the foundation
our association.
or association.
501(c)(3), yes, yeah. Yeah, but we keep records on a spreadsheet. I got a little pivot table going, so you see charts and what we're coming in versus what we spend, things like that. So
I mean, that's your,
what's that?
that's, to me, that's great, you know, because then the town doesn't have to worry about that. They don't have to account for it. You know, it's up to the association to just
And you
maintain
keep
your tax
receipts,
exempt
too.
values.
We keep receipts, yeah. But I mean, it's a lot of places will not give you any type of grant unless you're a non-charitable foundation. Like
Oh, sure.
Non-profit foundation, so. It's really opened the doors up to get some small grants like, for power tools, things like that. We need those things that we would probably normally wouldn't really have to have, but it's really great to have. And then the grants really help out with that stuff, so. You know, we would, some of the stuff we've gotten, we probably never would have been able to afford that. But that's really all I got. Here's our questions.
What'd you say the SUV number was gonna be?
Squad 3. It's actually 13 on the side of it, but for the Centerville's in the teens and they didn't want it to be the same. We just decided to take off the 1 to make it cheap, so.
And then charters will be,
Command one is all we decided, yeah. Yep. Keep it simple. So that's it. That's all I got. No, probably.
So do we have anybody else that needs to speak?
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It's my fault.
Okay.
Yeah, Randy Powell, and I'm back on the park again on it, and excuse me if we gotta come back up to speed on some of this stuff, because I've been gone for a little bit on there, but I am anxious to see the park get started again on there. Very pleased that we were able to meet our grant and to get the grant for the old school park. And we're ready to get started on some things. I just wanted to come and kind of go over some things with the board on there to see if the council was in agreement with what we're doing on there. I do want to check again on there on it as far as had a few things down here like on our revenue details there on it. The figure you gave me, Amy, yesterday on there, because I was actually picking up parts of Mac on there. Do you still have that on there? Well, I found that's the best place to start a project.
Yeah.
As soon as it loads.
That, and we need the donors list too, if anybody that has wanted to be sure to get that picked up. We've had a lot of nice contributions on there.
These in here didn't provide their addresses. If they don't have an address, then I don't know what they are.
And we don't have a name with it then?
Yeah, there's names.
Oh, okay, here,
Yeah.
okay.
I remember they're donated, but if they
Okay.
didn't have an address, then I didn't add it.
And what about the brick sales? How are those going? On there.
Remember that previously.
Okay. we want to make sure that everybody that had donated gets a receipt or something back or some thank you or something on it, because we really appreciated being able to get this project going again.
Randy, you're gonna have to get that tomorrow with the video on right now. It's through my computer and I can't.
Okay. Okay. Well, the last figure I had on here when I left on there on the paper we had was 109,138.
That's what I added up today.
Was
Your number that I gave you on the phone was a quick pop.
okay,
And then
well,
when I added everything up today, it was.
that's why it's question
Yeah.
transparency. I just want to make sure that our numbers were all coming in on the same,
Those numbers, and I was like, wait a minute,
because
I told him the wrong number.
I had somebody the other day that asked me when I said we were working at the park again, somebody thought, well, man, you're really milking the town of Milton. I thought, well, not really out there. We're kind of helping out with the equipment and stuff, and we'd like to see this project through on there. And brick sales, like I say, we need to have okay. Yeah, we need the brick sales. We need to have a closeout date on that. Because we've ran the times, we ran them. I would like to see it be the end of the month, so we can go ahead and start getting them, because I've talked to some people that do the brick work as far as the engraving. And they say it can take as long as 2 months to get that done. So I would like to see the closeout done by the end of this month on sales. If anybody, we need to run an ad or something. If anybody's interested in having the names put in the park, they need to get a brick before the end of the month.
We're getting ready to run our water bills. Do you want us to stuff them in?
That would be great if they could put that in there again, that this will be the last go around. Because I know it seems like forever we keep pounding people, buy a brick, but now we want it to start happening now.
So you want April 30th, that's the last day.
That should be, yeah. So that's when her things are going out. But yeah, the end of this month, I'd like to see it. I'll write that down if that's everybody, all right with the council.
Can we send a reach alert out too?
Yeah. So if we don't meet the 150, are you just putting blank brick in?
Oh, we definitely will have blanks in there too. Yeah, so we'll have to make sure that we cover the whole cost of all the bricks, and then hopefully the brick sales helps offset the cost of what the bricks do. Because there's like, I think 4,000 bricks going in there. Yeah, on the bricks on that.
Okay.
But see, we didn't need to sell that many of them. Yeah. No, we didn't. Yeah. Okay, and then we got the underground work on there. I'm going to just kind of touch base on some things that's going to have to happen on there. One, the electric, we need to finish up to get the lights, to make decisions on which lights we're going to go with. We've got some good ideas. We've got some good donations with a couple poles I think would work. Ryan and I've been up and looked at them. We think maybe we can use these poles, but we'll still have to have some new fixtures put on them. We thought we had a grant coming through with Duke on there. They had pledged, what was it, 4,000, I believe?
That's what she
Yeah, and we've not seen that yet.
It wasn't ever requested. The account information was never requested and we lost it.
thought.
We did lose it.
The only thing that Rebecca told me was we're trying to get Duke, have you received the check? That's all she said to me.
And we was supposed to be getting a Dot Foods, $2,500 for Dot Foods.
Let's
That's not on there.
No, I see a Dot Foods here, but it's only for $650. We were supposed to get one for $2,500 and we have confirmation on
Maybe
that.
we may need to contact them, and maybe they will or won't, but hopefully they will help with this.
And the AARP grant was 5,000.
We did get that. That came in.
with-
That's on this
Yeah,
list.
So that should be
Right.
with that.
That's why I say, everything like this, if we get the Duke grant, that would be very helpful to put our wiring in and get stuff for it. But that's kind of what pulled everything to a stop, is that we didn't have the underground or the money to finish the underground work as far as to getting wiring in, getting the cement poured for all of it. We still got walks to put in on. We've got the sewer, if we want to do something on that, as far as to where the porta john's going to go. I still personally think the porta johns ought to be the way we look at first, not worry about trying to put in a full-fledged restroom. One, because of cost, and number two, because of maintenance. But there still is a maintenance cost to having a portage on too. But, well, that's true, yeah. We talked about a park board too before we left. Has that ever been started up, or have we started anything on it?
No, not
Right.
really, not in detail.
Okay. Is that still something that, you feel that, you know, that we ought to be looking at? I think it'd
Yeah,
be nice to do something like that, to have the park board on there, because there's a lot of things that, you know, that would help even down the road for the park to run as a functional park, I think, and keep it maintained right on it. And it's something that, I'm hoping the town, and I'm getting some very good input from people around waiting on pickleball and basketball courts on there, but the playground, I see for myself, that thing is used very heavily.
yeah, we need to get listed in this,
Yeah,
which is,
different parks. in the
yeah,
area.
all the different parks.
Okay.
And we're not listed yet.
Okay, well, we'll try to get listed on there on it, but we got concrete work yet to finish up, which includes, walks, bench pads, restroom pad, and also the fountain pad or the fountain area on it. Now, when I say fountain area, it's just to pour the base on it, on there. Landscaping, we're gonna have to look at some landscaping. Matter of fact, I think we ought to really look at putting in like 3 large trees as soon as possible on it, so that we've got some kind of green in there and some shady areas in that park, because it's all just an open field right now, in my eyes anyway. And we really ought to have some kind of trees on there that we get started on it. And in doing so, that's gonna have to entail, we're gonna have to dig out the areas that we're wanting to plant the trees and put a good topsoil in there, because it's all full of brick. But it should drain good. It's like a pot full of broken rock in the bottom. I think once you have some good topsoil around it, we'll get some nice vegetation growing. We got, corners on there need to be landscaped on each, where each post is at. Again, these are with donation things on the corners. We've got to have some plaques made for the corners and some landscaping done on all 4 corners. The grass has come in very good. We were able to get the grass seeded on all of the park before winter, and most of the grass looks like it's holding up, because it looked like they mowed again today on that thing. And thank you, it looks great on there. We got paving work to finish. Once the underlines are done, we can finish up on the paving work on it, and also we've got to get the cement along the sidewalks put in. So once the sidewalks are put in, we can do that, close that section up. Yeah, and that's where the restrooms will be at. And then we got, fence work that's, I'll have to make a decision on that. We got a couple prices on that. We'll review those. We'll probably talk about that in another meeting on there, and tell you what we've got and where we're at. So I'm gonna have to sit down with these people, but I didn't want to start right on their chain until we had the money to do something with it. Because they've already been out and looked and given us prices. And then, we need to look at a date at some point in time down the road, ribbon cutting. So.
Need to make sure the funds are in this account, we start getting full stuff done.
Yeah.
We have,
Yeah.
well, we need to make sure our accounts are,
Right.
and we want to see.
Good. Yeah, because we want to make sure that we can follow through on it.
We just want to make sure that all the funds is there, so if we hire somebody, we know we have money to hire. Is all, that's all.
Is it raining outside or?
Yeah.
You know, looks like it's speckled shirt there. Yeah, okay, well, that's all I've got right now on there on it. If there's any questions, any other questions on the park? On it?
From the porta-johns, you're talking about renting them, we're talking about buying some and then having somebody, because they're soft, they're pretty pricey to rent.
I pay a couple $100 a month for one of those.
On it.
How much?
Couple hundred a month.
I thought more than that.
It depends when you get.
Like I said, the last time I saw, so last time we got some down there at the park department a few years ago, it was almost $400 a week.
Yes, kind of my thinking would be, I would think the town would try to own it opposed to renting it, but have a service to clean it.
Yeah, that's what that's what
Right.
I have them come in every so often.
And instead of just
It'd be
renting
cheaper
theirs,
that
and
way.
also, I think you really need to have a handicap
Oh,
dice
yeah, you
on
have
there,
to.
so everybody could use it
Yeah,
on
would
there.
have to.
Maybe just
So-
you have an event.
Yeah,
So-
well,
That's
not with
all.
pickleball courts and stuff, I think
Yeah.
it's gonna make it very unusable.
Problem with permanent ones, then you gotta
Yeah.
clean it all the time.
Older people tend to like to play pickleball, not.
Well, when they,
Like one closer.
when they come and service it, they clean it, they hose it
I mean,
down.
if we had
disinfect it.
a permanent installation, then you have to worry about maintenance.
Yeah,
Cleaning,
right.
Toilet paper, all the stuff that goes with it.
Yeah, and I,
Back on the park board.
yeah, that's where we have to start looking at that on it. But there's quite a bit to think of on finishing it up, but hopefully this year we'll have a functional park on there where it's totally open and, the shelters on there. We did get it passed. I don't know if anybody noticed that we got a lot of the fire pits put in. We did get it passed by the insurance company to have fire pits, but they're not going to be open to the public on a daily basis. If a person rents a shelter or if they use the shelter, they'd have access. We'll have a lock, some way of locking these things to where they can't just use them every day. But they can for functions or reunions or birthday parties, they could actually have a fire pit on it and looking at having some chairs put around those on it. So,
So Quentin, if we do, a bathroom and septic, we would have to put. Oh,
Water.
no, the,
sewer.
sewer.
Right, you have, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, we don't have anything over there yet.
There is a line fairly close.
It goes right down that
I'm
alley.
not sure where the sewer is, but I'm sure there's still is one somewhere over there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think there's one on Cherry Street. I think it runs up Cherry Street if I'm not mistaken.
I thought
Right.
it went down that
I think
alley
it- I'm not for sure. I think it goes like
down the street.
down this way and down that way. I think they run parallel with the park.
And Cherry Street runs out towards the ball dive.
But don't we have a?
I don't think it's
sewer
on Cherry.
sub?
Well, no,
It's
it's
on
not a,
Cherry Street. It's on
you
a.
could if we plan on doing something
Bigger.
later in the future, but if you just want the porta potty now, you don't need
It goes
one.
that way.
But they'll come and suck everything out of
And
it.
there's one on the other end going that way too.
But I did see one,
We'll have to look
that
and
a
see.
function with that, and it was pretty neat because it was actually was hooked to a sewer.
Oh,
And it was a Portugal style. They hooked it to a sewer. And that, if we had our sewer, that would eliminate the cleaning. But the thing I hate to see the town get involved in is trying to maintain full bathrooms, on there with people going in and using for other things than what they're supposed to be used for. And just have it, a porta john just for the use of that and have it to where it could just be opened up and cleaned out with minimal work involved. Yeah,
What do you call the fire department to clean it out?
there you go.
It probably won't.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
If we put a drain on it, it'd be a lot easier to clean if we could hose it down.
It would, yeah, because Jenny, you put one drain in the floor too, on like.
I know people are gonna smear crap on the wall.
Oh,
phone numbers and everything else.
yeah. Yeah, I know, and that's why I say, when you just gotta make it easy and make it
I
inconvenient.
think that would look better and it would smell better and it would just be better idea overall to put something solid in there instead of porta john. Porta johns, I mean, anything can happen to those. Plus they're isolated. See the one down at the fire station.
Well, we were planning on actually it's gonna have conditioned wrap on, it would be hidden behind this area. We also need a little shed, but I mean, these are all little details I didn't want to get into on that, but you need a little shed that we could lock up things, on it as far as, like the nets and pickleball things, the maintenance items. So it's something to consider. And like I say, that's why I'd like to see the underground structure put in. If we could hook into the sewer before we did the paving, even if we had to set one there this first year is what I'm getting at. If we don't have the funds or the time to get it finished up, at least it would have a porta on there.
Oh, everything is there, yeah.
I didn't know if we have to have the lines now, just for further, in the future, if we use it, we have it already done.
Right, exactly. That's what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
the water's not an issue. The water's already running there, but it would only take tapping into the sewer.
Yeah.
Man, it would be all.
But the sewer, we'd have to actually, we've either got to dig down one side of the road, to clear out to the sewer. So I mean, we don't want to do that after the paving's done. If we're gonna do a tap in later, we get it.
Could we remove some of them bricks and lay it right there? And that way we're not tearing up. We can just remove the bricks.
You mean inside?
But you have to run it into the park. So
No.
you're.
Yeah, I don't know.
It goes on the end, no, it goes on the very,
It goes on the very,
end.
end.
It goes on the very, west side.
West side of the park.
West side of the park, kind of where their thing's at right now, their French,
Okay.
their French thing that's been sitting there.
Yeah.
Good.
It goes about right there, I think.
Yeah.
Because that's where our electric's coming over, dropping down right there.
haven't paid that or anything,
No.
No, we quit on that end on there. There's a lot of infrastructure that needs to go in yet.
I just didn't know it was something that we could just stub in, and if we, in the future, we don't need it now, we can't afford it now, but something that we can
Right.
at least
Yeah.
done.
Exactly, yeah.
We can always cap it off and
Yeah.
that'd be there.
That's what I'm thinking. And then a pad actually poured with the drain, like you was talking to even have the drain already done, on it to where it would hook into that. On it.
There's already a sewer line tap right there in the front.
Clear out front,
Mm-hmm.
on it. Yeah, like,
Where the one tree's at,
right,
on the front side, right there, really was across from Agnes's house.
okay, yeah,
They put it, and it would be on the drawings that when we put in the sewer line.
right. But see, that's going all down through already paved though on there. I would rather go on the backside and catch it on that one.
Well, in the backside,
Hey Dwight, the sewer is actually running right in the drive up front. And down north and down Canal Street.
Yeah.
So we can go one of three directions.
Okay,
yeah,
right. So I think we've got some good options here and I didn't really want to bother the council with all the details tonight, on there, but I just want you thinking about it, that it's something that really
should.
we ought to do it on there, look at doing something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And we need to get with Duke and actually find out about getting underground over, because John Tarpon has actually mentioned if we get our poles set and they can get that put in, I would like to see that put on the wall, either where these petitions are gonna be for the restroom or a little building for the shed. But, we need somewhere where we can actually mount the electric box on there.
Well, we talked about doing like a block wall.
Right.
One little block room in the same area. Or a locked door that has all that stuff in it, then have a panel actually on the inside.
Yeah. They don't want it sitting out
So
there.
you don't have all that stuff to the public.
Yeah.
You know.
That's all I have. If anybody else has any questions, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you, have you looked into security cameras?
The town has talked about it. Now, I've not gotten involved in
That'll
that part of
if
it.
we can get internet.
Right.
I have to, actually.
I'm sorry.
I have to get internet over there. The commissioners gave us $3,000 to replace the internet over there.
Oh,
I thought we got.
Yeah.
a suggestion for your internet, get a Starlink mini did. They're inexpensive, they work anywhere, you can just put it on any unit you've got for a couple $100, and it's like, I think they have a plan that's $50 a month now. And that's up to several hundred megabyte of speed, it's actually.
Yeah, cause you got the.
I would just put a, like, one from the tower at the fire department, they go over there to the middle of the park, put some, I like, set this once up.
But do you have to have direct contact or site with it? Or
Oh, yeah,
or the
look right there,
strings?
I know your point. You can, that close, you can do like a 12-inch dish and no problem, so. I mean, you're probably $500 max on equipment maybe, plus what it is.
So it sounds like that's something they thought about.
Absolutely.
Got that one
Yeah.
covered on there.
Actually, you can have internet there where you're, you can even use it here.
What I'm hearing is you're volunteering to pay for the internet at the park.
there you go.
He's volunteering to climb up the tower to put this.
Okay, that's all I have then on it. No problem.
You guys think about putting like a drinking fountain in out there?
Yeah, we do have.
Oh, for one.
Actually, the corner back there by the basketball court. We had those little, I don't know if you've seen it.
The little hard
Ground.
Hard things that are gravel.
Just put one there, okay.
So we actually talked about putting one there,
That's what.
putting one over there by the kids
That's
playground, because that has one. Then maybe even over there by the bathrooms.
If we put it in a bathroom.
If we put it in the back.
Water, water that's plumbed in, we can actually easily put one there too.
You've already got a lot of fire now.
Yeah, black gold, most of it's done, just a lot of it's.
Was it there? Yeah, water in the water.
Hey. Howard, or do you need to speak? Would you like to speak?
Yeah. You guys were talking about, your park stuff and everything, and grants possibly. Have you checked with Forward Wayne County at all? Acacia at forwardwaynecounty.org. She writes up grants. I know she's been up to Economy and been helping with them to, redo their barn that they have that was used as a basketball court and stuff like that. Also, I think the Wayne County Commissioners, which I'm running for as a Republican primary. If you decide to vote in the primary, there's gonna be a list of 3 there, and I'm the bottom guy. Okay, low on the totem pole, so vote for me at the bottom. But the Wayne County Commissioners, I believe, have helped, the parks throughout the county.
Instrumental.
Yeah.
Jeff Plaster?
Right.
Yeah,
Been
Plaster.
here on it.
Yeah, I would really get in touch with him
He
and
is,
see.
he was really instrumental on the first one on there, and actually on seeing that we tried to get this other grant lined up on there on it. Yeah, it's just a time of year, we were at the end of the year, and it's hard to get it in the cycle on there. We were able to.
They always have those cycles, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there,
Yeah. but-
done that, yeah.
And I know why you're smiling though, because you was afraid I was gonna take up all the time.
One last thing, and then I'll quit, pickleball courts you're talking about?
Yeah.
You know, Richmond has an extensive pickleball court. And there's a lady there that gives classes that I've got her number, Pam, and I think she's pretty involved with it. It's been a couple of years since I talked to her, but I have her number if you're interested in talking to her about pickleball courts, because they've got a lot of experience
Right?
on that pickleball court stuff. They can tell you things that went bad or things that do
Yeah.
good and that kind of stuff, I think.
That would be
It could
probably
help you
good
out
to
a
talk to her, yeah, on it. But like I said, when we get down to that point where we're actually doing the seal coat and nets and everything, I mean, we've got Leslie Coatings involved in, looking at putting the seal coat on the color stuff on it. But, we're hoping to have it where we're putting in 2 of them because, it seems like seems to be the trend, pickleball seems.
That's a coming thing, yeah. They're always full and busy
We
over
were
there.
debating whether a tennis court or pickleball, and pickleball won out.
Yeah, I would think so. Beautiful. Okay, well, that's kind of what I have with my commercial and everything. If anybody wants to talk to me about Wayne County Commissioner stuff or whatever, I've got cards and I'll be more than happy to talk to you afterwards. Got signs too, if you want to put up a sign. Thank you. Yes.
Right.
Hey, so we're to council updates.
Yeah. Good one.
Anybody
Yeah.
need us for council updates?
I have nothing.
Dwight, you have
We
any?
already talked about some things already, so I don't see if there's any need to talk anymore about it.
Okay. And we'll come to some of the issues I have into with the clerk's updates, so. We're to the clerk's updates.
Joe Lloyd, who lives right over here in the trailer across from the park. He had, some sewer issues. Wish Teddy would have came, so he can explain exactly what happened. The town's tree grew into his sewer. Right, right here, the
Well,
trailer.
I know where you're talking
On-
about. I
on
just don't
Canal.
know I don't know the,
So
where the tree is to that.
he purchased the parts to fix it, even though it was on the town side. He didn't know that till he got to it. And he is asking for a credit on his water bill for the amount that he spent on the parts to fix the sewer issue that was on our side.
I did know a little into it. All right, his clean out is right in between the road. This is my podium right here. All right, the clean out, it is between the sidewalk and the road, so it's from what I would think is too far from the house one. Usually they're up closer to the home. you don't have the issue with all the roots and everything. Like I said, I don't know exactly where that tree is, but I do know that that clean out was packed full of roots. He went out and bought a $400 or $500 rotor machine and it didn't even touch it. Teddy did the digging on his own time, and gave it to him for free. We have helped him out with it. My recommendation, I probably wouldn't pay for the whole thing, but help the man out because, you know, he's helped me out a little bit, with the town personal. It's just vouching for the man. But it was right there at the cleanup, and that's where the sketchy, his side, our side. So at the very least, we need to help him out. So I know he's asking for the bill, but
He's asking for $117.67, and he said that that was for the parts that he purchased. That's not the same story that I got.
Why is the clean out so far away?
I mean, Teddy even had to suggest to him to put lime in his yard because it was in his yard. It was squishy. So that's up to
Was
you.
it like the line broke or something?
I mean,
It's
yeah,
growing into it and
it
broke,
grew
cracked it?
into it.
and
Yeah, it
broke
was on the inside of it.
Alright.
He thought it was just clogged, but him and Teddy dug it up and it was just straight root packed full.
I think the trees are close to that.
The only tree that I saw was behind the dead pine in the corners. Is it on canal? Is the clean out on canal?
Yeah.
So that's the closest tree is that emblem's right there.
Hopefully that's the root for it. Now that it's dead, don't grow
Right.
back.
So I'm just asking what he asked for. He couldn't be here.
It was on the city side with the city responsible.
Well, Quentin said it's kind of like right in the middle,
Yeah.
like,
On the inside of the clean out is completely the customer's fault. I don't know the exact, ordinance or anything, but from what my understanding is from the clean out to the sewer line would be the town. But again, we'd have to look into the ordinance for that.
His clean out's so far away from his house, farther than normal.
Yeah.
I think code requires it to be within 4 feet of the house.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so otherwise everybody would just, I mean, why not just
What?
Put all the way out
on
there.
the street, say,
Yeah.
well, that's my problem.
Yeah.
does anybody know, were there multiple trailers there at one time?
Not my.
On that lot. Right here on the corner of Canal and,
It's an old house.
yeah,
Well, I think there was,
Yeah.
years ago, there was multiple trailers there.
because it's just odd to me to put a trailer on that big lot. Right here.
Across from the-
Here's the purplish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it sounds like to me, it sounds like it benefits you guys having to clean out all the way there because he has more land to take care of.
Yeah, that's not what I'm arguing.
No, I'm just saying, I mean, it sounds like if he should have been 4 feet from there, I mean.
Like I said, I don't know who put the line in, was it done wrong? Maybe,
How long has it been there?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's been there for a long time.
Well, not
It
for
can't-
sewer, it
It
would
can't
just,
been that long, I mean,
it says
Yeah.
since we had sewer.
yeah.
That's been what, 15 years?
2011.
20 years.
Yeah.
Unless anybody had been living there. I was here then.
There's an old man that lived
Yeah,
there.
yep.
And Denver John old.
Greg's
And.
dad.
Pardon?
Greg's dad, Greg Oakley's dad.
So it was.
There's actually two lines.
So, don't Oakleys live in a house there too, don't they?
What'd you say?
The Oakleys live in a house there too. They're dead. Somebody's dead. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's right, cause.
Well, I was thinking there was two trailers there years ago. Yep.
And who's to say that they didn't
It might be one of those situations like down there.
mess?
I mean, if Quentin thinks it should be half. I'm with him.
So the 117.67 would just go to his, we're not dispersing any funds, we're just applying the credit to his water bill
Yes.
of the 117.67. So make a motion to approve the 117.67 being applied towards the Joe Lloyd's, water bill.
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Then the next thing is the budget hearing. The budget hearing previously scheduled for this evening has been removed from the agenda due to the town executive not meeting with department heads and or the fiscal officer to review proposed departmental budgets. I spoke to State Board of Accounts today multiple times. They have suggested that we do not do it today, that I call DLGF tomorrow to get the plan to step forward without Philip. And then we can have our hearing in 10 days. I know that we've got what we've done. Everything's ready.
So my questions that I sent, they're questions, so that has nothing to do with Phil. So why can't my questions be?
Because it has to do with the budget.
Right.
We've already. I one thing at a time. You want a million things at a time. I'm trying to get one thing.
Well, the thing that you sent out is completely incorrect.
What? Just 2 spots, incorrect. And I explained this to Matt and Tom yesterday. Chirp was included in their payroll. I apologize to them, sorry. And that's why their amounts were high. I did change it on my spreadsheet. I just haven't had time to send it to you.
Why does that, so I still haven't seen anything, where, what is the 10-day?
10 days gives the time for the hearing to be scheduled through GLGF. You have timelines. When you do it, you have 10 days so that the hearing can be published, the hearing can be published. That's basically it.
So, okay, 10 days.
I'm gonna suggest to DLGF tomorrow. We have everything ready. We're ready to move forward. Can we do this without having to wait for 10 days? And I'm gonna get the answers from them because that's where everybody is sending me. And I can send out an email and tell you, look, this is when we're doing it and this is the reasons why.
You're gonna call a special meeting, so you
Yes.
still need to have 48 hours notice,
Yes.
and that's be posted, so you need at least 48.
I'm gonna take off my
Because
Martha's hat, been on my employee's hat, okay, as an employee, here we are. Midway through the month of April, with no budget, so now, if hypothetically, if we push this off for 10 days.
there's nothing that we can do.
Hold on, here my question.
That's why I'm gonna push.
So if we
for
push
them to
this off
be-
for 10 days, what's reasonable to?
I have to follow
can I finish my question?
Indiana codes.
I'd like to finish my question.
Okay, finish it. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. I'm sure I've already answered.
I'm gonna ask one more time.
Okay,
I'd like to finish my question. I think as an employee, it's a reasonable thing for me to be able to ask this
ask your
question.
question.
Here we are in the middle of April with no budget. As an employee, if we push this off for another 10 days, I think it's probably reasonable to assume now we would be in the middle of May before we can expect to be funded.
I will find out.
So my direct question is,
Yeah.
do we have enough payroll in the account that we can expect to be paid?
It's not gonna be a month.
Do we have enough
Yeah,
payroll?
I'll have that answer tomorrow because as soon as.
Why
Because
can't we answer it now? Do we have enough payroll?
I don't,
Okay,
I
that's
can't
so
bring anything up right now.
Hey, Chris, just to follow on Tom's saying, this was asked of Amy months ago. Of balances in every account. And it still has not been provided.
I don't understand why that's a difficult question to be able to tell me if we can expect to be paid. If we,
We don't even know if we have budget. How do we, so as a town council members, we should have authority and some say on what's going on. we're not getting no answers. We don't know if Quentin will be able to get paid next week, Tom can get paid, you know. So we're looking out for the town residents who's paying tax money towards Milton.
Yeah.
That it's not going anywhere correctly because it's not been done.
Can't tell right now, we can't go.
I can't get on my computer.
We can't go in, you can't go in right now and balance of an account to see if there's enough payroll.
I can't get on my computer on the server, because that's where that section is, because we're on the thing. So as soon as this meeting's over, I could do it. Or I can give it to you tomorrow with the final, with everything.
But you said that before, that we still don't have stuff. I have requested it multiple times and I can vouch for it. Multiple emails, multiple texts, and I don't get my answers. And then I'm questioning, like Vicky's full-time and our ordinance, she's not supposed to be full-time. So she should be working full-time hours. I mean, so there's questions that I have to say. I mean, that they're legit questions. Why can't our questions be answered? It has nothing to do with Phil. It's questions that right now I wouldn't approve the budget the way you have it written up right now to begin with. Of what I was provided.
The payroll budget?
Yes.
Exactly. I just told you I made 2 mistakes, included their church payment. That's
Right.
where the money difference is on the 2 that you asked about. And
This comes back though for a budget that should have been done in October. And now we are going to be at the end of April.
We're supposed to sign the budget tonight. You guys are supposed to approve the budget tonight, right?
Yes.
It's all supposed to be part of the
Yeah.
plan tonight, right?
you know, do it. It states,
So why were we just told that? Like, why are we just finding out? Why didn't you email us and tell us this?
because I didn't find out all the answers from State Board of Accounts until about 4:45 today. The question was by the Indiana code, because I didn't know what was going on with Philip. I still don't know what's going on with Philip. I've asked him to come over here. Crickets. Dave asked, I even asked him that, can you go over there and do a welfare check? I don't care what you do. Get him
Now
to
I
come
know
over
how
here.
it feels though, because we get crickets.
Yeah. I'm not gonna argue.
I'm not arguing. It's just that when we request something first of all, when we're having
When
a
I
meeting,
invited you to come in here and I would sit down with you and give you all the information and you said no. So until I
What?
get,
what?
I emailed you and asked you to come in and sit down with me and I'd answer all your questions. That way I have my computer.
I wanted,
Everything.
I emailed
And
you
you
the whole
said
list.
no.
I said no because you wanted me with myself. I'm not coming in with myself when it's just me here.
And you want to blast me on the camera. You want to blast me everywhere.
You blast it
And I don't
everywhere.
blast
Everywhere.
Anyway,
DLGF said.
I'm gonna
that
take care of it
they do
tomorrow.
Not have an answer on how we proceed at this point.
State Board of Accounts says not, I am to call DLGF tomorrow
They did
morning.
that.
Other than to follow our ordinance and to follow the Indiana code until I spoke to DLGF tomorrow.
Has the
All right,
original
that's what
form
we're
been
gonna do.
submitted?
Let me clarify something on the rules here, okay, so. State Board of Accounts is the watchdog. Okay, State Board of Accounts is the one that's gonna come in and tell,
If I am not
Over.
compliant, then I'm gonna get, the town is gonna get a ding on the next audit.
so State Board of Accounts has told her that she cannot proceed with the statutory approval because there's a requirement in the Indiana statutes that the town executive, and the way it's set up is Philip is town executive, is the only, he has to sit down, review the budget, go over it with the department heads, and then essentially present it to the town council. There isn't any wiggle room in there for how that's supposed to be done. And I understand your concern about, especially with State Board of Accounts looking at you and, you know, trying to make sure everything's right. DLGF is if you already know this, then I apologize, but DLGF is Department of Local Government Finance. They're the ones that the budget gets submitted to, you go back and forth on. They issue the budget and then also the levy. The levy is what actually gives you the money. My concern is that, I mean, there's a statutory requirement, I think, that the original budget needs to be signed and approved by the 1st of November of the prior year, I think. So really, just for future planning, like in June of this year is when the 2027 budgetary process is supposed to begin. But hopefully we'll have a budget for the year, but, so that's how that's supposed to go. The department heads are supposed to submit their budget requests, yada, yada, yada. We'll talk about that some later. But so just wanted to clarify, my concern right now is that the procedure is DLGF, if they don't receive an approved budget from the town council or from the entity, whatever, the city, county, whatever, then what they're supposed to do essentially is say, well, you didn't send us anything, so you get what you got last year. And they can reduce that by up to 20% if they want to. My concern for the town right now is that, and I don't think there's not a tonight way around this, but if this doesn't get approved and sent to DLGF pretty soon, what they're gonna do is say, you get what you got last year and you will start running out of money. in like
That's why
September.
State Board of Accounts told us to do it, told me to call them first thing tomorrow.
How come they didn't fund us in the beginning of the year with what we had last year? I don't know why they didn't do that. Probably because if my guess, and this is only a guess, is that they were given the town an opportunity to submit something so they could, update and get, more appropriate. That's, I'm kind of surprised too. I would have thought they'd have said, well, you missed a deadline. Here's your budget for this year, same as last year. Good luck. Talk to us in November. Yeah, but it's a great question, but there is an opportunity right now for the town still to get an amended or a new updated, whatever, 2026 budget. DLGF has been working with Amy to do that. I'm not.
We found yet another reason for it to be pushed back. So.
Well,
Going to run out tomorrow.
Sure, and
That's why I'm gonna ask the question tomorrow. Can we move forward? It states in the Indiana code and it states in our ordinance that the fiscal or the town executive they have a role. They have to do their role. So as soon as I get the answers and if they say move forward, I'll ask the question, do we have to wait the 10 days? If they say no, 48 hours, do it. We're having a meeting in 2
But
days.
technically, isn't she the vice?
Yeah, well, here's the problem with that, and this is what we're talking about, and we could take a look at that. For a town, there is no, and also in the town ordinances, also in the state statutes, there is no provision for a vice president of a town council.
I looked.
So why do we even elect one?
Well, but I don't know. But I'm not saying that you couldn't have one. I think it would be very appropriate to have a town ordinance, update the town, because there's an ordinance about who the executive is, it says, and it's straight out of the statute. It basically copies the statute and say, yeah, the state statute says that the president of the town council is executive. You could have a local ordinance that says in the absence of the president, we're going to elect the vice president. We're going to do the same way we do a president. And in the absence of the president, the vice president has all the president's authority. I don't think anybody's going to question that. I can't imagine why they would.
If we've got a vice, then maybe it's in there somewhere, and we just say it's in one of them 3 different book of ordinances.
Well, that's possible. I mean, I'm going out of my book,
But then-
which is not the same as everybody else. But I don't think there's been a lot of tinkering with that part, simply because pretty much it was copied what they did is they took the state statutes and they said, well, this is gonna be our local ordinances.
It's almost word for word. Then in this book, when I was elected, this gives me all of the who has, who can, who will, da 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 da. And unfortunately, because I looked for this reason, there's nothing in here that says anything about the vice president.
Yeah.
It's always the
But
executive.
There is for cities, but when you get to
Yes.
larger units, there is for cities, but
Okay.
not for towns. I don't think there's any reason the town couldn't have it. I will tell you what was in my mind tonight was coming here and saying, look, you've elected a vice president. I think it's very reasonable to say, well, we've elected a vice president. The obvious role that a vice president fills is to fill in for the president when they're not here.
Yeah.
Color the executive and move forward. But Amy brought up a very good point with State Board of Accounts looking at what is happening in particular with this issue right now. I think it's, and I understand why you're saying this, she doesn't want to do anything that is going to step out of line with what the statute says. So she wants to go to DLGF, make sure they're okay
Exactly
with
what
it.
they told me.
But I mean, clearly something's got to happen very quickly here. So there's two separate problems. One, you're on a very tight timeline. DLGF eventually is just going to go, all right, look, if you guys are going to do it, here's your last year's budget. The second thing is, and the council wants some information that they haven't got, and I think that they're entitled to. That they need to get this information. We need to figure out how to get that to them. And prior to the time when we come to the meeting, when, you know, we just sit down and go, okay, approve this. Well, so I think it's perfectly fine to, I mean, either that or it's gonna be a long meeting, one of the two, where we're gonna sit down. But the whole point of asking the questions ahead was so that they could sit down, they could in a quiet time, look at the budget, look at everything and, you know, formulate the questions, go back and forth. So I think everybody's got some valid points.
And just so you know, Jeanette, I have the answers to your email. But when I was told that I cannot continue because if Philip didn't show up, we cannot continue. When I reached out to State Board of Accounts, I told them I haven't heard anything from the town president. I've reached out, the police department's reached out. I don't know anybody else that has, I have no idea. And they were like, Amy, you have to follow your ordinance and the Indiana code. You have to have the town executive. There's no ends and answers, but that's why I stopped
Right.
answering any
Let me-
questions.
Well, let
Because-
me throw something out here, see if maybe I can be sort of the intermediary here, which is, I think this is your point, correct me if I'm wrong, is the questions have been on the table for a long time and the questions don't have anything to do.
Questions is after we received this Friday afternoon.
Okay. I don't think
Breakdown.
there's,
My questions were like different things here because like, if I take the hourly rate times 2080 for 2025, you don't get those figures. So that might include some overtime in those, but we can't include.
You know, the only people that ever get overtime
Well,
would be
if I
Teddy or
take the
Quentin.
hourly rate
And
times 2080,
what's 2080?
which is how you calculate your annual income. None of it matches the 2025.
2080 is 40 hours a week, a 40-hour pay week.
Yeah.
For a year.
For a year.
At what pay?
It's
You take-
2,080 hours for a 40-hour pay week for a year.
And I'm not coming up with that. So those questions have nothing to do with me approving the budget. I have questions with this. So when it comes time to approve the budget, I'll be ready to approve.
And I have that. But when this was brought to my attention, the payroll budget kind of went to the wayside, and that's where most of your questions were for the payroll budget. I fixed that issue with the chirp because I just grabbed the numbers, put them in. I'm just telling you that with State Board of Accounts being called on me for everything and being here and change this, change that. I'm following exactly what they tell me, period. And that's what they told me to do, and that's what I'm gonna do.
But Chris, but that has nothing to do with my questions.
You were talking about the payroll.
Yeah,
I have
the sheet that you
It does have to do with your questions. I put the Cause it's due his payroll. I put the payroll budget to the side. I wasn't even looking at it. I was paying attention to what I have to do with the budget.
Are these questions specifically about the budget proposal that needs to be looked at?
No. Their payroll budget.
She didn't provide us at the last meeting the payroll budget.
Yes, that's true.
And so I asked for what was broke down, what was paid last year, what was is projected for 2026, and their hour rate, so I can see what it looks like.
Well, and then one of your questions was about overtime. The only people
because-
on payroll that would get overtime would be Teddy and Quentin.
Well, so that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying, though. When you look at this, it looks like there's overtime because these figures don't add up.
Are you talking, who are you, just say the name.
Majority of it.
Well, I know
But
she
you're
doesn't.
saying,
get
I'm
overtime.
just making sure I understand. So
I know he
if
doesn't
you
get
multiply
overtime. I know he
2080.
doesn't get overtime. The only people that get overtime are Teddy and Quentin.
If I take the per hour that you have written down times 2080, I'm $2,000 to $4,000 off. And 2080 is your correct way of calculating.
It's somebody that worked a full-time year. It was in full-time status, 40
Right.
hours a week.
Well, and some of these people that you're talking about, did they work, were they full-time for a year? No. Were they?
That
No.
was the only one.
I'm a no.
Well, and then if
That-
we're gonna follow ordinances and
Well, that,
all of this,
Tom and
ordinance
I
shows.
talked about this morning. When all the insurance questions were coming about at the very beginning of that, we needed one more person so we get the rate down a little bit farther. Do you remember that? So not Amy, when we brought that to everybody's attention, move Tina to 36 hours. Because she was getting 30, move her to 36 because Sarah said for insurance, she has to be at 36 to save money. And that's just, it wasn't ever put in writing. Ever.
Right, so then how can we even follow it if it wasn't put in writing? And that's Tina, so Vicky's another employee.
And Vicky replaced Tina.
That was
So
never
she-
brought to council. We can go over a lot of things. Vicky wasn't brought to council for approval. So that's in the ordinance too to follow. So if we're gonna follow ordinances.
So we're gonna follow ordinances. We're gonna follow ordinances and you want to throw your knives at me like you're planning on doing after this budget's over. We're gonna follow the ordinances. I gave you all at the beginning of 2024, or maybe even later into 24. I gave you my roles per the book that I received, plus your roles. I asked for ordinances to be done in February of 2024. It's 2026 and they're still not done.
We did a lot of the ordinances already.
But they haven't, nothing was voted on, nothing was
Because
changed, nothing.
Then we changed it, so that you.
It's not my responsibility to do the ordinances.
To write them up?
That's your responsibility.
To write them up?
Yep. So anyway, so my last thing is, you guys talked about the claims review process. I spoke to State Board of Accounts about this. Following the discussion with the previous meeting, guidance was obtained from the State Board of Accounts. The recommendation is that excluding utilities, all departmental claims be submitted to the respective department council liaison within the full council, with the full council being copied by the end of day on Fridays. Review and approval should occur within 7 days. This process is intended to provide all department liaisons the opportunity to review the claims prior to the monthly workshop. The only thing that you guys would not see, if you agree with that, the only thing that you would not see would be the utility bills, but I don't have a problem with throwing them in there, but you will know that I'm paying them anyway.
Well, I'll have to put that for next month so I can think about that one.
Okay.
So what do you need to have happen for the budget?
I need Philip. unless the LGF tells me otherwise.
So I would say we either need Philip to show up to a special meeting,
He needs to come
or
here.
he needs to.
He needs to come right
be
here
Here, or he
and
needs
look it
to,
over.
he could either resign as the
Or
president of the council, and the council could elect a new president. This, I mean, these are the things that, something needs to
Something
happen.
that needs to happen.
Because the
agree.
statute requires that the town executive, who is Philip, review the budget presented to the council for approval.
Philip was always one that did not share with the rest of the council.
Okay.
So there's things there that he knows that we don't know.
Okay.
That's the other thing. The other thing is, this group went through this hectic thing where former council tried to get our grant money. And that took how many days to get that?
You know.
Yeah.
You were part of that activity. So this group has taken a lot of hits.
Yeah.
Because official information wasn't done correctly, put out there.
Official information wasn't given to the person sitting right here.
Yeah.
And it's still happening today.
So here's what I think you should do. You're gonna need another special meeting. I mean, it's Tuesday. I would, you're gonna have to schedule one for nobody wants to have a special meeting on Friday evening. That's not, nobody's
I'm
idea.
gonna try to get it for Thursday.
Okay.
I can't do Thursday.
Budget is a concerning factor. I would be here on Friday.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying.
I said Friday's gonna be the only day I can make it.
well, then why don't you schedule a special meeting for Friday? You can find out what you need to find out from DLGF tomorrow. You can use that information to put out the agenda and publish the special meeting for Friday, which you can just publish. I mean, actually, you can publish it with what you know right now, to be quite honest. That way, but then you're gonna need to get some information. We're gonna need to get a hold of Philip. We're also gonna need to get some information to the three people sitting here plus Philip, because we need to get something approved.
I agree.
I would, and this is only a recommendation. By all means, you are the fiscal body of the town. It is your old job to make the decision on whether or not you're gonna approve a budget. I don't want DLGF to say, look, we're done with Milton. Just give them their last year's budget, because there's not enough money in that last year's budget to run the town. You've got more marshals, you've got more expenses, you got other things going on.
We think that divided by half. For 6 months is already gone.
Well, you'll get what you got last year. I mean, at the least, you're gonna get what you got last year. Well, up to possibly 20% less if they want to penalize you for that. I don't think they would do that, but they can. But I think what they would just do is say, well, that's what you got. You got this year what you got last year. Give us a budget this next, in November, and we'll try and help you out.
I'll try, talk.
And I understand, that this is a difficult, he doesn't like them. And I understand why. I mean, my recommendation would be we try to keep it as civil as possible, and one person talking at a time, and just, proceed on like that. But we need to do something. We need to get a budget and approved and sent to DLGF, even if it's not perfect. I mean, you probably all heard this before. Perfect is the enemy of good. In this case, I would say good is the enemy of done. Like you gotta get something done and submitted, even if it's not great right now. Because it's gonna hurt the town. Let's argue about how we're gonna do next year's budget moving forward. And you're right. I mean, we need a much better process for how that's gonna go. We already know that we need a better process for budgeting. We also need a better process for how to do the approvals. So you're not going through and approving things that have already been paid. That's not the way that's supposed to work. But that's a thing going forward. Frankly, you're in kind of, I wouldn't say emergency, but you're in an urgent management mode where we got to get something approved and set up to the LGF. give it a stop. But that's my 2 cents worth, trying to make sure the town gets as much, frankly, as much money as possible, especially right now with this tight as things are kind of across the board.
That's all I want.
Any other questions or concerns?
I have something to say. I'm Terry Smith Blair. I don't know if I can stand up, but, look, it's one of the first meetings I've been to ever. And how fascinating this is. But as a citizen of this town, thank you to all of you for how hard you're working for the town. All of you. And so, Vicki, thank you. If you don't get here, thank you enough. So, we don't have to be adversaries. Have a negotiator in here or someone who's nonpartisan to either side and to sit here and help you work through the problems because you're all working very hard for the town. I believe that. And I believe that whatever issues you're having right now, as long as there's complete transparency, and not just for the record, the only reason I said transparency is it's for your protection as well. As long as there's complete transparency, there shouldn't be any issues. We can work through all of it together, right? But just know that. Just know that, you know, someone who hasn't really stepped up much. I see a bunch of hardworking people who are very passionate for this town. So thank you for what you're doing. I'm sorry that it's hard for all of you. Okay, it's been through a lot, but thank you, Mr. Powell, for what you've done for this town. One of the most exciting things I've seen.
Been with a lot of people, and like I
Yes.
said, it's the whole town, so
Yep,
it's really been helpful on it.
all of you.
It's
Yeah.
a good town, it just needs to.
It's a wonderful town, guys, and you probably inherited a lot of problems, right? Mm-hmm. So look, we can work through this.
Sometime.
My 2 cents. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What you got?
Yeah, just real quick, chatting with Matt, about the repairs of the fire department. I guess he's kind of wondering how much we can do at a time because Chad, who is doing the repairs, for cheap, probably isn't gonna have much more time, so if we kind of piece it all out, we'll probably have to just bid it out to contractors and hope for the best.
Does somebody understand what I said?
No, I'm just asking how much we can spend at one time. Because we want to go get it all and just have them get it done. You know what I mean? So I mean, is that okay? Or is it
What's left?
the floor, the windows, the wall, the doors? We bought the doors. They gotta be put in. I mean,
Floor, window, walls.
floor, walls, windows. I mean, windows are probably 3,000-4,000 by themselves, probably. But he just wanted to know if we have how easy do we have to be at a time to go do that repair?
Basically what he's saying is, cause you said do one project at a time.
I
They
just
want- He
wanna,
just wants to know how big of a project can that one project be?
Yeah, because I mean, I don't think.
you know how much money you have.
Yeah, so I mean, he may want to go buy all the stuff he needs, material, and be done with it, and Chad probably in about 2 or 3 weeks, he probably won't be available.
That's what I would, yeah, cause he's not gonna pull up.
Yeah, that's why I mean, we're good, Chad.
Yeah, you know how much money you have.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that's okay, if we show up, say, hey, can we get $10,000, so they're gonna be okay, we have, as long as we, have the, the list of what we need, and it goes to Lowe's and not us or whatever, but,
Menards.
or Menards or whatever. Because if not, I mean, we'll try to contract that, but it'll probably be a lot more than 12,000.
Yeah, you're not gonna get the,
But Chad, he's been getting busier and busier, and we're just worried that we're not gonna be available in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, just provide receipts.
Well, we'll probably just do an order, and then you can, is that what you need, or I just need like an invoice from?
Yeah, that's what
You
you
just
agrees
pay
to.
them to do it, okay.
Write a check.
I guess that's all the only question, is just, can we just get it done with and be it all at once that way?
yeah.
Because I don't think we can find that back in the work.
Their limit is the only limit.
And they know how much money they have. And this is 2 months in a row. It's
We'll
there.
send it all.
And that's what Matt
I
said.
don't think Chad's even gonna be easy. No, he's like. all right.
Get everything you need.
I think their question is that when you talk to a contractor doing job by job, they're thinking drywall being one thing, windows being another. So they didn't think they could do all of it at one time.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about Chad being able to just to do the
Right.
available, because I mean, he may come in and.
Chad can look at you and say, hey, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the drywall, get that done.
Yeah, but I mean, I think his timing and stuff, his schedule all over the place would be just to get it all, have it there, and then when he can, just go ahead and just sit down. That's all my question, I think, because I wanted to ask because it was brought up that we had to just be, a little bit at a time, but what's a little bit of time. That's all that, yeah.
I agree with that.
The time gives us a list of everything.
I just want to make sure we're not gonna overextend it.
Well, you know what you got, so
I don't know,
I'm sure you'll get an invoice, so you don't really know.
Okay. Make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Me.
Yeah, me. Yeah.
So Dwight makes it, you make a
Oh,
motion,
you
Dwight?
make me, look, I second it. My bad, I was trying to help.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Adjourned.
know you've got a lot going on and everything, but that lady may be able to help set up some kind
He's
of.
the park
plan.
guy, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
she may be able to help you with
Well,
that.
these two right here.
Yeah, I worked with a neighbor I'm over there, my wife worked. Building.
Are you good?
Okay.
There. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and I've met with Jeff Plaster. He was part of the thing with.
I would have a meeting, I'd have a meeting. I would have a meeting.
Yeah, he's good, but I know things change.
You would do 5:30 or 6.
People changes, they get different
Yeah, I would
jobs,
just, I'd rather do early.
so.